Good morning, people. Yeah, welcome back to the show. This is episode 545 of the Two Dum Yinzers.
Ooh.
We are back. We're back for this Tuesday installment of the show. How you doing this morning, Mike?
I'm doing all right. Little woke up with a massive headache. It's subsiding. So we'll see how the show goes.
Sounds good, man. It is May. We're well into May 7th, and just a little bit before we go on, we will be coming up this July 1st will be our three-year anniversary for the show. Also, we're going to be cutting back to our summer schedule here in about a month. I think we're going to take a little break. I think we're going to take like a week off, Mike, at the end of May. Then we'll come back from break and we'll be into our summer hours,
Yeah,
and that's going to be the scoop there.
I think it's well deserved for us.
Yeah, I think so. I'm ready for a little break. I mean, there's nothing I'd rather be doing, but every once in a while, a break is warranted. And I also do want to say, if you do want to give us a ring, you'll notice in the comments section on our live, while we're live in the comments section on YouTube, there is a link and options to give us a call in and talk to us, ask us questions, and even if you like, maybe compliment Mike's hair, anything like that, you could certainly do that. Um,
Messed up.
that is now available. We're going to stick with the way it is for a while and see how it works, and then we're going to go from there. But as you, like I said, you could go to the live chat section of the show today on YouTube, and you'll find the link and everything that you'll need there to give us a call. And as I said, if you have questions, you want to talk, you want to argue, or again, you want to compliment Mike's shiny head of no hair, you can do that. All
I,
those
I
things.
I didn't even put any lotion on today, and it's looking shiny.
I know. I thought yesterday, what the hell are you doing? You're putting lotion on and
I
everything
always put
else.
lotion on because I get like dry skin from the shower and from the because I just use body wash instead of using the face wash. So I get dry and I lotion up so I don't be all ashy and stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect your Euro ass to be ashy, but
Oh, like, well, that's the good thing about being my Euro at, as I can, be ashy and you can't tell.
yeah. Oh, I could tell. I see these things. I
Oh,
see them.
oh, I see it too on myself. I can't tell it right now.
What a gem. What a gem, like that Mitch Keller threw last night.
Oh yeah.
If we could get this Mitch Keller, Jared Jones, and Paul
Oh.
Skeet as our 1, 2, 3 in a rotation, we're going to be looking good.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Mitch Keller, he threw a 109 pitch complete game. 75 of the 109 pitches were strikes. Complete 9 innings. He gave up 5 hits, one
Yeah.
earned run, one walk, 5 strikeouts. It's his second career complete game. And Mike, the one hit was a home run.
Yeah.
That was it. That was all he
That's-
gave up. If he wouldn't have given that home run up, he could have had a no hitter.
Yeah. That's not bad. Well, I'll take the only hit you give up is a home run and you win the game.
I was impressed. They let him
That's
stay in there,
impressive.
but it was obvious. It was all because Olivares leads the way and scores all 4 runs by himself on a
Hey,
grand slam.
sometimes you gotta take matters into your own hands, and he did.
So, basically two guys, obviously it takes the whole team,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, two guys, Oliveras on offense, it's the granny, puts up 4 runs, and Mitch Keller goes complete game. He goes the distance, Mike. And so as I said, gives up 1 run on 1 hit. That's pretty
It's pretty good.
unbelievable.
Yeah, like the problem with Keller is not the talent, not the ability, it's the consistency.
Yeah,
Where if he
absolutely.
can pitch like this consistently, yeah, you're not going to do this every game, but you know, at a high level, 3 out of your 4 starts be quality starts. My God, like you said, you add Jones and then Keller in with a consistent Mitch Keller, 1, 2, 3, top of the rotation. That's a I would put that up there with just about any other rotation in the league. Yeah, I'm being serious because these guys, we're seeing it from Jones. He can do it. We see it from Keller. He here and there you see that ability that he has. If he can put it together consistently, that's a dominant top of the rotation.
As you see, Mike, in the past, they're on a 3 game winning streak. Believe it or not, the Pirates who just couldn't win a game. Their bats are finally sort of, kind of coming back to life. I mean, along with here's check out Oliveras' line. He went
Yeah,
3 for 4, 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs. The only other hits were there were 4 other hits. Brian Reynolds had 2, Andrew McCutchen had 1, and O'Neill Cruz had 1. So I mean, it's I think it's a little premature to say that the bats woke up. However, they're scoring more runs than the other team. And as I said, though, on this 3 game winning streak, Mike, the the pitchers have been lights out. You've had
yeah,
a 1 hit 7 inning outing by Jones, and then again last night the 1 hit uh win, the 1 hit 4-1 win over the Angels.
yeah.
That puts the Pirates at 17-19 on the season. The Angels dropped to 12-23. Pirates play game 2 of 3 today at 6:40. Probables are Quinn Priester with an 0-2 record, 331, and Patrick Sandoval coming in with a 1-5 record and a 591. And I do have to mention, Mike, that Mitch Keller's outing last night was so good it dropped his ERA down a whole run.
Wow.
Yeah,
And that's how you know you had a really good night when your ERA drops a run. Usually it takes 3 or 4 starts for that to start coming down.
yeah. So he
Uh,
did. He pitched an exceptional game.
yeah,
Now I do got to say again, the Angels are 12-23.
yeah,
And the Rockies, the team that we just beat in a series, they are still under. They're still in single digits as far as wins. So
hey,
it's not the time to get excited yet. But on the other hand, we are winning the games that we're supposed to win, and
exactly.
that's a start.
Yeah, like, that's what we're supposed to do is beat the teams we're supposed to because you know this Pirate team, like we said yesterday, and we've been saying all year, they have the offensive potential to be to contend for just our division title and maybe even like do a little damage in the playoffs because the pitching staff is a lot better than we thought it would be. And if that offense could match what they did early in the year, this is a dangerous ball club.
I think we
So
we
we
have
should be beating these teams right here.
I think we have a playoff pitching staff. I do it, and then it's, as especially as we said, you bring up Paul Skeens, you
Yeah,
throw him in the mix, and with what we have right now, I think you can make a decent run because in the playoffs you shorten your rotation to 4 guys.
yeah,
So at that point you have Skeens, Jones, Mitch Keller, and then whoever you want of your pick. They'd probably go with the southpaw. But
yeah.
I mean, come on with that rotation as of right now. That's a playoff rotation.
It is, and like yeah, I know Skeens, and I don't know if we're going to talk about it, but his last start was only on 4 days rest. He struggled a little bit, but I think come playoff time, if he's up here now and we win and we rally with this new pitching staff, if and when he gets caught up, come playoff time, his arm will be ready to be able to pitch on 4 days rest. If
Yeah.
they happen to win a series, he might be able to pitch on a 3 day rest cycle. So, like you said, man, this team, God, man, like I said in spring training, a half a run on offense is all we needed to produce and our ERA to drop by half, which they have. The ERA has gone down from last year to this year. It's that offense, man. They're struggling. If they can figure it out, and it's looking like O'Neill Cruz in his past 6 games, it's looking like he's slowly getting back on track. Brian Reynolds, I was watching some video breakdown of him at the plate. It looked like he had altered his swing big time, and we're
Oh yeah.
starting to see fruits of their labor and getting it turned around. Am I optimistic? Yeah, I might be getting a little optimistic talking myself into it, but these little things, if they can keep building on them, get that offense back to where it was, this team could do some damage, man.
Yeah, you'd imagine, you wouldn't think that the bats could stay down for, I mean, they
Yeah.
got to come up at some point. There's
And
no
at some
way
point they have to.
that you could go 6 months and, not
Yeah.
do anything. especially, and, as you said, I mean, there's potential. There's
The
potential.
potential, yeah.
And if they do get hot, I do like this team.
Yeah.
Mike, let me excite you a little bit more with the current standings. The moment the Brewers are in first place, tied with the Cubs. The Cubs and Brewers first place. Guess who's in second place? Your Pittsburgh Pirates.
Wow. We're
Mike,
sneaking up.
by percentage points, we are tied with the Reds, 4 games out. However, we are 1 percentage point better, excuse me, than the Reds are.
We'll
So we're
take it.
sitting 4 games back, tied with the Reds, 4 games back, with a slight advantage, and the Cardinals in the basement with the five and a
Yeah.
half game out. It makes you wonder what happened to that Cardinals team, man. They just,
Ryan, they have fallen on hard times.
my goodness.
It might be the best sight in all of baseball is to see the Cardinals in the bottom. I think that's what unites every baseball fan is Cardinals in the bottom. And right now we're in a 3 game win streak. Everyone else is on losing streaks.
That's right.
So or Reds are on 5. Brew Crew's lost 3 in a row. So we're all 4-6 in our last 10. But hey, we are the better end of that. Um, and getting back to the batting average real quick, we said at the beginning of the year, yeah, these averages they'll drop down to where they should be. Now, they've overcorrected in the other way. Now, I think they're starting to heat up, and I want to say maybe in a month they'll be. Everyone should be about where they should be for the year in their career average range, and that's only going to help us help the Pirates offense. And if the
Yeah.
pitching can stay where it's at, oh, look out.
Yeah. I
Because
mean,
this division is tight. Yeah, we're 4 games out, but we saw how fast this division can swing from one way to the other on these teams.
so I mean, we have a very beatable Angels team tonight, and then
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow they play an afternoon game, and then they play Chicago at home. So we get a chance, Mike, to maybe gain a little ground on the
Yeah,
Cubbies as they come to town to go into the weekend. So a lot of cool, Mike. I got to tell
yeah,
you, there was a lot of cool. If you got out to the stadium this past weekend, there was a lot of cool giveaways on Saturday on for the May 4th Be With You Day. They had a Mitch Keller Star Wars bobblehead, and then on Sunday they
like
had
it.
a P. Brian Hayes statue, like a statue of him, like in
Yeah,
fielding. So
I
they have a
like it.
lot, and plus I think they
The,
had the fireworks night on
Oh
Saturday
yeah.
as well.
I tell you what, man, say what you will about the Buccos, but they do know how to get people into the stadiums on with their giveaways. They have some of the
Anything
best in
besides
all of sport.
baseball,
Everything but the product on the field on a consistent basis.
this is what they do. Yeah,
Yeah, Zambelli's fireworks going to sell out. Bobbleheads are going to be close to a sellout.
like them
Like,
bobbleheads in Pittsburgh. That is key. That is king.
yeah,
If you have a game with the bobblehead, that game is going to
it
sell.
doesn't matter who you are going to sell out. We love our bobbleheads.
I love to see the collection of some of these people, that are consistent baseball
Mm-hmm. Oh
game
God,
attendees, and
yeah,
they go and they get all the promotions, and they have just limitless amount of bobbleheads. I'd love to see their collection.
yeah.
You
Me
know,
too. It's got to be worth. It's probably worth it. Thousands of dollars.
oh,
Got to be at
absolutely.
least. And I forgot what I was going to say. I read Brian's comment.
Oh, Brian, good morning on the board. He
Yeah,
did, that's 100% true. They have stunk since Yadier Molina left. Talking about a staple, that was a cornerstone of that team, that Yadier
yeah,
Molina. Jeez, oh man, and it seemed like he was there forever, huh?
yeah. Like at least 30 years, it felt like.
Mike, you know that I do like to do this because I'm petty. This is the what the Pirates' results are according to the jerseys they wear. All right, so it got a little
I,
better over the past couple of days. I got to tell you, I was kind of staying away from this because it was getting bad, but it got a little better. You ready? In their white jerseys this year, the white jerseys, the Pirates are 3-2. 3-2, not bad, right?
bad. Over 500,
Over 500.
which is
In
what we
their
take in Pittsburgh.
black regular jerseys, the ones not the specialty one with the P on it. They're one that says Pittsburgh across the front. They're 9-8. 9-8
Okay,
with their.
above
All
500
right,
ball. All
all right. It's
right.
getting worse. So relax. Um, their grays, Mike. Their grays 4-6. They
Ugh.
generally don't play good in their grays.
No,
I'm
no,
just
but
telling you.
Hey, we're still about sitting 500 with those three jerseys.
Because you get out there and they wear them black jerseys on the road. I don't know what it is. They tend to win. When you wear the
Yeah,
grays, they just I don't
because
know.
you feel
Right. Because they look
like yeah, because when you look good, you feel good, and whatever you're doing, you're gonna do better because you look good and you feel
which
you
makes
can't feel
me
good in grays.
don't let me forget. I want to bring something up here in 1 second.
Oh God.
Um their alternative black jerseys with the P
Uh
on it, they're 0-1. 0 and
well,
1. It's
well,
not
when you're
bad.
rocking the R. Kelly ones with P on your jersey, you're gonna lose.
And finally, their yellow jerseys, their City Connect jerseys, which I like. So it just says PGH on the front.
Yeah,
They're 0-2. They haven't won in that jersey yet.
which that's kind of disappointing because in Pittsburgh, every team that outside of the Pirates that wears an alternate jersey, we always seem to win.
Yeah, yeah, you're
Anytime the
right.
Penguins wear like the throwback blues, the Steelers wear an old throwback jersey, they tend to win. Not the Buckeyes.
That's because baseball players have no soul.
They don't.
Um,
They're in a cult. I have a feel. A working theory that baseball is a cult.
Let me ask you this. Kind of going back to Brian's comment, and we were talking about briefly about the Cardinals. I learned something when I was in school that if you have red in your uniform, it plays a trick on the mind of people that you're up against. It's
Uh-huh.
almost like it's a dominant color in a sense that it plays it does something to you psychologically when you're competing against somebody with the red on,
Hmm.
and it doesn't allow you. I don't remember entirely what this what it is, but I do recall that, and then you watch around and teams that wear all red generally seem to be good. Yeah, usually. I mean, the Cardinals were good for 100 years. I mean, look at the Chiefs. It's something about that color of red.
Hmm.
It's the color that our mind associates with danger. Stop.
Yeah.
In our mind, we somehow place that if you're competing against somebody with that, it's like subliminally or whatever, your mind kind of um,
Yeah.
won't let you. You
Hmm.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're subconsciously thinking about that color when it
Right.
represents, and like, yeah. Hmm.
But I always kind of chalked it up for the Cardinals because I gotta say the Cardinals have been good my whole life.
Yeah.
I remember being a kid, and I remember I listened to this. I was sick. I remember specifically, and I was staying at my grandparents' house, and the Cardinals were going to the World Series that year. I think they went on to play the Twins or something. It was in the '80s, but it just seemed I don't ever remember the Cardinals not being a good team,
Hmm.
And and I guess you could always point to teams like the Reds. I mean, they're not really but
But they've had success,
right.
the Arizona Cardinals, yeah, they went to a Super Bowl. So,
But again, I don't know how much, but
Liverpool FC,
I believe
yeah,
there is something there. Do
yeah,
I believe that it has that much power? I don't. I mean, come on,
yeah,
if you're a good team, good,
you know,
well
you know,
coached and
yeah.
prepared. I
Oh,
mean,
Tiger Woods wearing red on Sundays.
so
Yeah,
just something
yeah,
psychological that
yeah. This is why
I
I got my red
remember.
shirt on today. I'm messing with your mind.
I remember learning about this a long time ago. Like the NFL might postpone the schedule release. I mentioned yesterday that
Yeah,
they were talking about it coming out tomorrow or the ninth, whatever tomorrow is, or whatever the ninth is.
in 2 days.
So then I see this morning the NFL might postpone the schedule release till 5/16. So that's till next week.
Well, there has to be like some sporting event going on that they don't want to compete with because they want to do their big rollout,
Right.
all day schedule release and leaks and all that stuff. And just let us know. Come on. You just had the draft. We're thirsty. It's a dead area right now. There's not a lot going on. Give us something, NFL.
Yeah.
We're claiming for it. Yeah.
It seems they do this every year. They push it back a little
Yeah.
bit every
Yeah. So
year.
you
And
keep talking about it more and
right.
more. You anticipate it more and more.
And again, we know all the teams. I mean, we're gonna play the NFC East.
Yeah.
Cowboys, the Eagles, the Giants, the Commanders. We're going to play the AFC West, the Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, and Broncos. We're going to play the third place finishing teams from the AFC East and the AFC South,
Yeah.
which I think are the Colts and the Jets. And we also do play the Falcons as that extra team from the NFC.
Yeah.
And we do play our teams in our division 2 times apiece. that is your schedule, everybody. That is the 17 games you're going to play, and what order and what city and what day and what time. We're not quite
I
sure. That's what we're waiting on. But
I to answer Brian's question, I think in that first slate of games, that first week, maybe there's a Friday night game. I
this is
know I
like the
heard talk
Brazil
about
game.
Brazil game might be a Friday night game because I knew there was going to be a Friday night game, which like I don't like because like oh you have Pittsburgh, Texas, California, Florida that are those big hot pockets for high school football, man. That's the day for high school football. You don't need NFL on Friday. And we already got
Understood.
Wednesday and Monday and Saturdays and Sundays. Just leave Friday. That's like this is like my old guy boomer stance. The only one that I probably have is just leave Friday night alone. That's for high school football. And I'm not a big high school football guy like a lot of people are, but no, leave that alone. People want to go watch their kids play football.
I think it's neat. I like having NFL on every day of the week. If I could have it on 10 days a week, I would.
I need that break, and Friday could be that night.
Yeah, see, that's what they got Tuesday for, and that's what they got Wednesday. But you know what? I don't mind whatever they do. I'll watch. But Mike, also a couple things here regarding the Steelers. Uh, somebody got ants in their pants after they found out that we don't love Najee Harris as much as we could here. I'm seeing rumors coming out the woodwork that the Dallas
Oh,
Cowboys have some serious interest in our running back, Mike.
yeah, I saw that. I chuckled. Yeah, that's not going to happen. But if it's
Not
true, they would.
now, maybe next year.
Hey, you know what? If they would make a trade, I'll gladly take CD Lamb for Najee Harris, and I think that would be a fair trade.
And that would be just about when Jalen Warren will blow his knee out. You know it.
Like
And he
Najee's
would be
had
done for
over,
the season.
yeah, Najee's had 1,000 yards every year. CD Lamb is averaging just over probably like 1,200 yards receiving every year. I think that's a fair trade, straight up.
I
You know,
think the combination of Najee Harris and Jalen Warren is what makes them most dangerous. I think
yeah,
if you only have one of those guys in the lineup,
yeah,
it loses. And I think that
yeah,
if you have both of them guys, you then have to prepare for both of them guys.
yeah,
As if you were when you were getting ready for the Browns and they had Kareem Hunt and Chuck, you had to
yeah. You
prepare.
have to, yeah,
And when one guy goes out, you don't get no rest because you get the other guy fresh.
yeah,
I think that's what makes this duo so good.
yeah,
And it complements each other because again, I think that Jalen Warren just has such a good running style,
yeah.
and Najee being productive. So I think you put those two in there playing off one another. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's where they become effective. I think if you, like I said, if you send Najee somewhere else, I don't know if Jalen Warren gets that same production.
Yeah, because he has to do it all the time, game in, game out. Can he
There's
do it?
no change of pace. He's losing his legs. You're not keeping fresh legs constantly coming out.
Yeah.
Um, you know, Good morning, Ron on the board. Ron
What
says,
up,
"Hey
Ron?
guys, sorry been absent, but buddy's been visiting." I'd say that's fine, man.
Yeah.
I was wondering, I was hoping that you were okay, but glad to hear from you, sir.
But yeah, back to like Najee, Najee and Jay. Like if Najee, like to me, if he wasn't a first round pick, I would love the production I'm getting out of him. It's
Yeah,
just you see that first round tag next to his name. You want more than what's there. What's there is good, but
I'm.
I want more. If you see a
If
first round pick,
Najee
you
was the
expect more.
only guy, I wouldn't be so.
Yeah,
Like I said, I like this combination. It has to
I
be.
like the combination.
It has to be the combination.
Yeah,
Like if you're only getting one of these, one of these guys, I don't know if I'm as happy
yeah,
because, like
and
I said, it allows these guys to do what they're doing.
yeah. Like I hope Najee has like that breakout year where he rushes for like 13, 1,400 yards, has, about 15 touchdowns. I want to see that from him. And
You
I,
know
I
what?
think maybe that's what the Steelers want to see too. That's why they didn't exercise the option. Like,
And
they
that's
want to see
also
that next
you have
level.
this coach that's going to put him in a position to do so with his style. You have an offensive line now that's going to put him in position to do so.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is going to be a lot of fun this year. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of people, are, of course, are belly aching over this wide receiver position. Don't get me wrong, so am I.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know what? I'm pretty satisfied, and whatever they get at that receiver position, Mike, I just might be okay with. Let me read you what I found. I found this Van Jefferson just 2 years ago received for 800 yards and 6 touchdowns. He was just behind Cooper Kupp, and the that's about what Deontay Johnson was. I don't even know if he got 800 yards last year. You know what I mean? If
Yeah,
we could get somebody like Van Johnson, just to Van Jefferson, I'm sorry, to have that kind of season. Now,
yeah,
don't get me wrong, I still want another receiver.
yeah.
I
Me
we
too.
you know we need another one. But if you could get a Van Jefferson to come along as a third receiver and put up 800 yards and 6 touchdowns, we're gonna be in good shape, Mike.
Yeah, and that's about what you need. If you can get 800, 900 yards out of him, get a little over 1,000 out of Pickens, and then Roman Wilson get you 5 to 700 with about 3 to 5 touchdowns right there. And you got a couple other guys, and it's going to be. I just want to see how Arthur Smith's going to scheme these guys open. What's his scheme going to look like? Because we know, like, you go through his 2 years and you look at the players' stats that they put up down in Tennessee, the ball was moved around a lot. A lot of guys had pretty decent seasons. Like John Smith had a pretty good 2 year run down there. Can Pat Fryermuth recapture that match? The production that he had like his rookie year when he had Ben, now that he has another Hall of Fame quarterback with him. So that's going to be interesting to see how they do. Even though Russell Wilson struggles to throw the ball over the middle of the field, how are we going to get that open up? Are we going to be moving pockets? I just want to see how the scheme's going to work out with the receivers that we have. Maybe that's what they're hoping. Arthur Smith's scheme will open these guys up, and so we don't need a true number two, true number one.
I'm just hoping that the Arthur Smith experiment doesn't doesn't fall victim to itself in a sense.
Yeah,
Doesn't because again, I understand what they're trying to establish, but how far do you want to establish? I mean, he would be a great offensive coordinator for this team years ago.
yeah,
Now with the league turning into what it's turning into, that's what kind of concerns me is
yeah,
you're bringing in this 90s kind of offensive coordinator who would have been a perfect Pittsburgh Steeler offensive coordinator
yeah.
and you're telling him to and you're going to be playing football games where you might have to come back 2-3 touchdowns if you're playing against
Mm-hmm.
an Allen, a Mahomes, one of these quarterbacks who put up a lot of points week to week. So that kind of concerns me. But we will see what happens with that other wide receiver position, Mike. I think that that's going to speak volumes because that just opens up the potential that we'll be able to do on offense.
Yeah,
But again, I'm not real familiar. The only thing that I'm really familiar with Arthur Smith was that good Tennessee team. They had that one good
yeah,
season where they made it to the championship game. Then they expected to come back the next year and take it one step further. That didn't quite happen. And then he was in Atlanta. He got the head coaching job over there. But so it's gonna be interesting, like to see what we could pull in at that wide receiver position and how Arthur Smith
yeah,
could hang just
yeah.
in the
And
scheme of
like,
things.
yeah, in 2020, I think that was his last year of offensive coordinator down at Tennessee. They averaged 29.6 points per game. That was fourth best in the NFL at that time. So that like as him as an offensive coordinator, that gives you a little hope. But you saw what the last 3 years as head coach in Atlanta did. They weren't that wasn't that great. But maybe his level of coaching ability is offensive coordinator. And if that's the case, and he can refine that magic, and this was only 4 years ago. That offense was putting
And you got
up
to think,
the fourth best in the league.
what did that team do when they played high powered offenses and
Yeah, you have to go
they
back
didn't
and look at that. Yeah,
they didn't win the Super Bowl is what I'm
yeah,
saying. You got to
yeah,
figure a way to turn that over into a team that could
yeah,
beat the big game, win the big
yeah,
games. His kind of like the kind of coach he is and the coordinator that he is, I think they're going to win a lot of their regular season football games.
yeah,
That's what they're going to go and they're going to pose their will on others. They're going to win, a lot of the games they're supposed to win. They'll lose their one trap game as they always do.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, I want to know what this guy does in those 4 weeks in January into February.
yeah.
And but I guess a lot of things have to happen between now and then for that to happen. So we'll see.
Yeah. And even his first year, real quick, they were eighth in the league at 24.9. And that's with what? Ryan Tannehill as your quarterback. Now you get Russ Wilson. So we'll see. Even though this is latter day Russ Wilson, and Wilson did put up some pretty good numbers last year.
Let me get caught up on the board.
Oh yeah, that's
Hi,
what
let's
yeah.
see. And Ron also says I think people blowing up. In what sense do you mean about that, Ron, with blowing things out of proportion with nausea? We will touch more on that, and let me know where you're going with that. Also, he says Sullivan will be running the passing game, and I think Smith will run the run
Yeah,
game.
I think that's how it's gonna break down too.
Also, Brian says, keep in mind, Arthur Smith is on the record saying, I don't use my best guys in key situations because the defenses are expecting that. That's an interesting philosophy.
And that was when he was what last year a head coach down in Atlanta.
He was the
But
same guy
he,
that didn't play any of his starters in the
yeah,
preseason.
yeah, that's why I think he's a better offensive coordinator because he was riding Derrick Henry when he was down in Tennessee.
Hmm.
So we'll see. And this Pittsburgh offense, like who's our really best guy? Najee and Pickens. So those are the only two you can throw to and hand the ball off to for the most part.
Oh,
So
Warren catches
well,
the ball
Warren's in
really
there,
well.
yeah, yeah.
You know, Hmm.
So,
That's interesting.
yeah. So
Um,
we can see a lot of Cordella Patterson sweeps.
you know what? I can't wait to see him too. There's a lot that I'm excited about this year, Mike. And
Me
again,
too.
hopefully there's still more to do. So they could wrap this receiver position up before we all have heart attacks here. Um, Let me go to happy birthday yesterday, Mike Clam. Um, it was his birthday, so you know what? I give him that. Cam Hayward, let me give you his career stats, Mike. You tell me. You tell me at the end of his career, is he Hall of Famer by these numbers? Ready?
Yeah.
13 seasons. 13 seasons, 194 games, 647 tackles, 179 QB hits, 80 and a half sacks, 121 tackles for losses, 47 pass deflects, two interceptions, eight forced fumbles, seven fumble recoveries, six Pro Bowls, four All Pros, and the 2023 Walter Payton Man of the Year. Mike, do those numbers put him in the Hall of Fame?
I think the sack total will help the most. I think that right there will make people talk more about him and how great and how friendly he is with the media as well. It's going to help out a bunch right there. And that Walter Payton Man of the Year award. I think those three factors right there will eventually push him into the Hall of Fame.
I gotta tell you, as I'm reading these numbers, I'm thinking, Jesus, this is not bad for a guy that just falls on people all the time.
Yeah.
I,
Well,
I must be missing something. I don't know.
like up until that year we lost to Jacksonville in the playoffs when that offense ran all over him and Stephon Tuitt, he was a damn good player. And then after that, it was just all downhill for him. And that's when he started running his mouth to media, like using we need to play better. We need to play better, never taking any personal responsibility for his failure to do anything to affect a game. Because once you start looking at his playoff stats, you realize he's not a big time player. He's never done anything. To me, he's not a Hall of Famer.
Ron says on the board, Tomlin will interject if Smith isn't using players right. That's the thing that concerns me. I necessarily aren't. I'm not confident that Mike Tomlin will do that from week to week. I don't know if somebody's. I don't know. Seems like if he's a buddy of somebody, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how this year plays out, guys. I'm interested to see what this new offensive coordinator does. I'm interested to see what these draft picks do. Free agents coming to town, all kind of different things to be paying attention. But guys, it's going to be tough. This Steeler team has the hardest schedule in the NFL. So I think they'll do better than last year. Maybe 12 wins. Ron on the board says, what I mean is everybody's making a huge deal of Steelers not picking up Najee's option. I feel they want to see him put stuff together for a good season. And I agree. I just in general, for a couple of reasons. If you didn't have Jalen Warren, this is a whole different conversation. I don't think you're then going to prepare. I don't think you're then going to I don't think you're then going to be in the same make the same decisions with Najee Harris if you don't have Jalen Warren as well. I think Jalen Warren is a big part of what goes on from here on out with Najee Harris. And again, I don't think that they should send him off to Dallas. I don't think they should do anything crazy because again, Jalen Warren comes out in week one, blows his knee, then we're in bigger problem than we have a nice running offense with no running
Yeah.
backs. So I think that they did the right thing. You got to, yeah, it's a business move.
Uh-huh.
Let's see the guy produce. Let's see what his production is, and we'll go from there. And of course, we all know that the $6 million, $7 million that Mike, I could have really went either way. I could have paid
Yeah,
him the
me too.
money
Like,
because $6 million. I mean, these
yeah,
guys could find that in their couch.
yeah, and especially for a productive running back, 6 million is not a whole lot of money.
No, no.
Not at all. And Oh man, I had something I was gonna say. I lost it. I'm sorry, guys. No.
Good.
Here's the thing too. Like with not picking up this option, you've noticed a lot of the people. Like we've only since Omar Khan has become GM, the only two players that we've extended contracts to from the Kevin Colbert era, Highsmith and Deontay Johnson, and Highsmith's the only one here
Yeah.
outside of like the people that he drafted. So it's this Omar Khan going, hey, I didn't agree with these draft picks. This is not how I want my team constructed. And so this is his way of cleaning house, still getting, value and production out of it. Trade Kenny for draft picks, using guys to, just or letting people walk, and the Najee not picking up that extension right there, just letting people walk. And if Najee signs somewhere, we don't sign a bunch of free agents, get a compensatory pick out of him. Is this just his way of cleaning house?
It's consistent with
That's
what
what I'm just
Omar
wondering.
Khan's done. I like I like his aggressiveness. I love the fact where he never sits on his hands. We
Yeah,
had that for decades and decades and
yeah.
decades with the Steeler team. I love the fact that the people in the office and the people up front and the general manager, they're being proactive. They're that's a great sign, I think, for this
Yeah.
team, and especially in this day and age. You're not going to build your team the way that it's been built the past
Yeah.
40 years prior. So I like what Omar Khan is doing. A couple other things going on. Ron says, "Don't forget Tomlin's on a hot seat." I
Yep.
don't think that he is. I I, I
I think
think
it's
Mike Tomlin.
warm.
I think Mike Tomlin is here until he wants to go.
But see, like right around before draft, after drafts, that's usually like when he would get his extension, and he hasn't yet. I think the seat might be, I don't want to say hot, but lukewarm. It might be the hottest it's been in a long time.
I
So we'll
disagree. I
see.
I think that he'll be here until the day he wants to walk away. Ron also says the Blue
The
Angels
Blue
flying all
Angels.
over the house now. Also,
I like the Blue
Brian
Angels.
says uh, Ryan's writing Hayward's Hall of Fame speech. I just fell a lot.
I just fell a lot, and I'll add the line of, we need to play better. Not me. We need to play better.
Yeah.
Worst leader in football.
Let's stick with football, Mike. We
I was
didn't.
wanting to do like another half hour on Cam Hayward and why he sucks.
We ran out of time yesterday. We always have a lot of things to go over on Monday. So today I do have the UFL results from the weekend.
Yeah.
On Saturday, the Birmingham Stallions, Mike, they beat Memphis 39-21. Birmingham goes to 6-0. They are the only undefeated team in the UFL. Can the Birmingham Stallions won the championship
Yep.
the last two seasons in the XFL or the USFL, I'm sorry, and they beat the Memphis Showboats 39-21 as they remain undefeated. Memphis drops to 1-5. The other game on Saturday was St. Louis and Houston. The Battlehawks beat the Houston Roughnecks 22-8. St. Louis goes to 5-1, and Houston drops to 1-5. On Sunday, the Arlington Renegades, they lose by 1 point to Michigan. The Michigan Panthers win 28-27. Michigan goes to 4-2. Arlington drops to 0-6. And finally, the last game, Mike, of the weekend looked like it was a good one. The DC Defenders 18, the San Antonio Brahmas 12.
Yeah. That was
San,
a good
Ant-
game.
San Antonio's 4-2. You remember with Heinz Ward at the head, they didn't do very well. I think they
Ofer.
might have won. Yeah.
I think they lost. I think they were Ofer.
And DC is now 3-3. Week 7 coming up with Memphis at Arlington. St. Louis and Birmingham should be a good game. Mike, St. Louis 5-1,
Yep.
Birmingham 6-0. It should be the game of the week. On Sunday, you have Michigan versus DC. And then Saturday, you have San Antonio versus Houston. So, Mike, this season is speeding along
Yeah. It's
because here we
flying
are,
by.
week 7. We
Yeah.
play 10 weeks. So it's holding us over. We have the
It
UFL,
is. It
we have the
is.
women, some football, things like that. So Ron on the board says Roman will be a
Yep.
diamond. Remember, every year he got better with her. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I think that
I think he was for me. He's one of the steals of the draft.
I think our first 5 picks were all super picks. I really do.
Yeah.
The two linemen, Roman and Peyton Wilson, and then the McCormick. I think that these 5 guys are going to go a long way on this team. Um, and you know what? The last two,
You never
it's
know.
always a crapshoot when you're getting to
Yeah.
those last 2 picks. You just never know. So we will see. Mike, also, In the NHL, they're down to 8 teams. In the
Mm-hmm.
NHL, there was eight. The Dallas Stars versus the Colorado Avalanche, the Vancouver Canucks versus the Edmonton Oilers, the Florida Panthers versus the Boston Bruins, and the New York Rangers versus the Carolina Hurricanes. Mike, who do you like this year?
I'm rooting for the Canucks and the Hurricanes. Canucks have Jim Rutherford as their GM. They got isn't Tocchet their coach? Something like I know they got ex Penguins on the staff over there, ex Penguins on the roster. So I'm rooting for the Canucks and the Hurricanes for Gensel. I out of these last 8 teams, it could be anyone's ball game. Like just looking at these teams, looking at their rosters, eh, if any of these teams win, it really wouldn't surprise me. I can see Colorado coming back, winning what back to back. Nathan McKinnon, he's always liable to take over a series. Edmonton is what's his name? Connor McDavid. Is he ever going to make it out of the second round? Kind of like how Ovechkin could never make it out of the second round. So a lot of storylines here, but I'm rooting for the Canucks and I'm rooting for the Hurricanes.
Like this Florida team. They just snuck in last year,
Mm-hmm.
made that really good run,
Yeah,
and here they are. They're back in the second
yeah.
round playing against Boston. I don't know if that season's or that series started, if it has a account
Mm,
yet,
yeah,
but
Boston has 1-0 series lead.
I like Florida. I don't know. I don't want the Rangers to win.
I don't want the Rangers to win. I
I
don't
don't
want the
want
Oilers to win.
I don't want no Canadian teams to win. Um, I don't want Boston to win.
No,
I like Florida or Carolina from the East, and I like Dallas or Colorado from the West.
that's fair enough. It would be nice to see Dallas win. They haven't done anything in a long time, it feels like.
No,
Yeah. But the Canucks, man, I want to see Jim Rutherford get another Stanley Cup.
and it's odd sister sport we don't talk about because they don't have a team here. Well, I'm going to jump into the NBA briefly. Mike, in the NBA, you're also down to your final 8 teams. The Pacers versus the Knicks, and the Celtics versus the Cavs in the East, and then Denver versus Minnesota, and the Thunder versus the Mavericks in the West.
Yeah.
Who do you like out of these teams?
Oh, the way the Timberwolves are handling the Nuggets these first 2 games, they might be heating up to just go all the way. Um, God, yeah, I it might be the Timberwolves. That's that. Screw it. I'm going with the Timberwolves. That's the only
Taking
games I've really watched. I didn't watch a lot of the first round. Not gonna lie. So I'm riding the Timberwolves all the way.
I don't know enough. I do know enough to say that I know that the Celtics are really good,
Yeah,
but you know what? I can't take the Knicks. I
yeah.
want the
Cavs were heating up
Pacers.
too. Yeah.
I want the Cavs. I'm going to take the Celtics from the East.
All right.
And you got 4 good teams. You have the Mavericks. You got the Thunder, Minnesota, Denver. You know what? I'm going to stick with Denver. I think Denver wins this series. I think they may make a comeback.
Ooh.
They get back.
Oh, they need a lot of. They're down 2-0.
Yeah, they're
And
going to win.
Jokic is looking like he wants to go be with his horses right now. He's looking
So I got
gassed.
Denver
Yeah.
versus the Celtics as my finals.
Oh,
Also in basketball, Mike, Caitlin Clark, Ice Cube's big three.
uh-huh.
He's now offering her the offers surpassed $15 million. Also, he's offering partial team ownership,
I was about to say she should ask for ownership stake.
also a share of merchandise sales, and involvement in the Big Three documentary, which I'm sure is great motivation to want to do it. But the first 3 things sound good. The money surpassing 15 million, partial team ownership, and a share of the merchandise sales. That all works.
Yeah, I would take. You know what? Like, I would take it, but I get why she want to take it because hey, I want to build over here in my league and build it up. But financially, me selfishly, I'd take that. I'd jump on that big 3 contract as well and do both.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Get all
like
your money up front and get
hell
the hell
yeah.
out. Go
Oh,
enjoy
Ron,
life.
I'm being a total bandwagon in the NBA. I just haven't followed it that much this year. And the way those 2 games are the ones that I saw the most of, I'm like, yeah, I don't think Denver's coming back. I'm taking the Timberwolves all the way. They're probably going to choke in the next round, but you know,
This is interesting here, guys. 1979. This all relates to Caitlin Clark, so just bear with me. In 1979, the most watched NCAA men's basketball game ever. 30 million viewers was the Magic Johnson Larry Bird
Mm-hmm.
showdown. Michigan State, Indiana State. In 2024, the most watched women's game in college was 18 million, which had a similar story.
Mm-hmm.
Both with the white superstar who went up against a predominantly black team. We were talking yesterday, Mike, how they might have dropped the ball in Chicago.
Yeah.
I think it's still too early to say that. Wait till these two teams play one another because
Yeah.
they do have Angel Reese. They do have the chick from the Cordoza.
Yeah.
Chicago's going to be a really good team. And when they play Indiana, to see how Caitlin Clark responds, if she comes out
Yeah.
and drills, how many ever 3 pointers and
Yeah.
she scores 35 points in a game that they win by 5. I think this continues. And as I said, I think that the WNBA would be very, 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 very stupid not to play off that
Yeah.
because this chick right now is the moneymaker. Again, like I said yesterday, I don't care if she's white, black, yellow, or green. She's the moneymaker at this point. That
Yeah.
it is what it is. You could try to turn somebody else into the milk cow right now. It's not going to happen. She's the
Yeah.
moneymaker. Recognize what is
Yeah.
working, what isn't, and she's working. Capitalize,
Yeah.
make your money on it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah. Like use her and market like the other players, especially the ones that have been in the league that are good as well.
right.
And attach them. She's the rocket ship. You attach other people too. You see this like in wrestling, like whoever's hot at the time, you shoot them to the moon and you build people up behind them so you have that next one
Yep.
ready and you're promoting these people too. So if that star's not available, hey, you can go watch this guy, you can go watch this girl. That's what the WNBA needs to do. Use her as that, like Stone Cold in during the Attitude Era. He shot popularity up, but there was The Rock, there was Triple H, there's this person, that person. That's what they need to do. Shoot up Caitlin Clark. Hey, here's Angel Reese. Here's this. Here's that. Here's this. Hey, in college, we got Juju coming up behind her. We got Paige coming up behind her as well, and build up and build up. And
And
that's how they need to market it.
she's just, I listen, and these people going on, why Caitlin? It is what it
She's
is.
the one who
You
captivated the audience.
you you're right. Angel Reese is not the most likable person. She's just not. And
Yeah,
if everyone doesn't love her, you can't be upset.
yeah,
She's just not that likable. I don't know. It has nothing to do with color. I have many of my favorite athletes in the world are black people. So come on, these people are crazy. They're starting problems where there isn't any problems. And as I said, Angel Reese just isn't that likable of a chick. She's
oh,
just
I
not.
find
She's
her
just.
lovable.
I mean, I like her leg sleeve, and I would more than likely have to stop you from sniffing the top of her leg sleeve. But that's besides
Oh,
the point.
you're disgusting.
But again, you got to recognize where you're,
Yeah,
who they're going to see. You can't control that. It just
yeah,
is what it is. Go capitalize, make your money, and try to make the WNBA work.
yeah. And the smart marketing, like I said, she's the rocket ship, and just ride her coattails and build up everyone else behind her too. Now that's what
Yeah,
they need to do. That's what a smart, savvy, promoter would
absolutely.
do. Build her, but have everyone else behind. Who's going to be the one to dethrone her? You gotta, like you keep saying, like wrestling storylines, like the announcers have to build that, like JR did, and like the King did during the Attitude Era. You got to build up these storylines and narratives,
What you
and
got to remember too, Mike, that's the obvious one, but that goes on in all successful sports.
yeah, that
You
you see
watch
in
the
the
NFL,
NFL and
do you not?
hockey and basketball.
Absolutely, and you might not, you might not consider it or think about it, but they
But
do.
they do.
They play a big role in painting the picture of what
Yeah.
a sport is, of how popular
Hmm.
something becomes. Jr.
Yeah.
and the King, come on, man.
Yeah. Howard Cosell was great at that. Even Myron Cope
Yeah,
in Pittsburgh was great at creating those narratives. We still say, the Cleveland Clownies, the Bungles,
right, absolutely. So even if the WNBA isn't successful, I think that Caitlin Clark's going to be successful. I do. She got it. Some people have it. And everybody knows that person. Everyone hates that person too. When you're in school, that one person just does everything well. They don't have to study. They get straight A's. They don't have to
Yeah.
practice. They're good at all sports.
Mhm.
She's just that person. She has it.
Yeah, baby. We got it. Here, go play with coffee.
Everyone go outside.
Also, Mike, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they're back in action today. The US Open Cup round
Yeah.
of 32.
Mm-hmm.
So the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, who did well last year, they played 7 o'clock p.m. today. They play FC Tulsa. Now they're on a little bit of a winning streak. They won three straight. It'd be nice to see them do well in this tournament, Mike.
It would. I like this one in here. It's the tournament. You have teams from the league that the Riverhounds are in. You have the MLS and some of the top teams in the US going at it. And this is one of the best tournaments. And in North America, I like it because it's has that European flair to it where you not only play your league, but you play for the whole domestic cup, and this is why I love it.
Yeah, so good for them.
Derby
Good luck
has
to
it.
them. Derby has it. All right.
It being the clap.
It being he slept his ass in. I don't know where he is today. But one thing I do like, Mike, also that they do play a lot of the Pittsburgh Hounds on the CW network. Also, I do want to say, Mike, if you missed it, they did play the Pittsburgh Passion game on the Pittsburgh Sports Channel, the channel that they play all the Pirate games, all the Penguin games, and they did play the replay on Sunday. So if you're ever trying to keep an eye out for them, which I know a lot of people are, they did play them on the Sports Channel, Pittsburgh Sports. But the week before, I did catch them on YouTube. They had the whole game, so they're out there. If you look hard enough, you'll definitely find the Pittsburgh Passion, which I really enjoy. These guys, these girls, these women, I'm sorry, are very, very good this year. Getting a big blowout yesterday or over the weekend against the rival hated DC Divas. So,
Mike, Brian, this might be the extent of my basketball talk. I finally watched 2 games this year, and I spent all my knowledge.
And Ron said, "Now we know that Mike is the perv."
No, you're the pervert. You're the one who says all this stuff.
But you're the one that would sniff the top of her leg sleeve.
You said that. I did not say that.
All right, I would, but so would you.
Well, you're the one saying it. I'm not. I got plausible deniability.
You're the weird one that doesn't say it. That's the weird one. The one that says it.
Hey, I got the two Dum Yinzers babysitting program going down here, so I can't say a lot of stuff.
Why don't you say something about the website?
The2dumyinzers.com. You head on over there. We got links to Ryan and I social if you're new here. We got our merchandise store. We got a blog up there. There's a new one yesterday I put up about, just a little recap of the Steelers draft since I took forever to write it. I finally posted it yesterday. A lot of people have been checking out the website. I've checked out the analytics. I appreciate it. So yes, go check it out. The2dumyinzers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumyinzers.com. Mike, today's trivia. We did cover a lot of things today. We talked about basketball, as Brian stated. We had a little football. But you know what? Today, only because of Mitch Keller's complete game win, 9 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, second career complete game. And the only run came on a home run. It was literally, if he wouldn't let that home run up, that he potentially had a no hitter. So, Mike, this of course has nothing to do with anything besides Pittsburgh pitching moments. Pittsburgh pitching moments.
Doug Drabeck.
All right, I'm locking you in on Doug Drabeck. So guys, play along on the board. Derpy, wherever you might be. Mike, here we go.
Let's do this.
How many no-hitters have the Bucks threw in franchise history? How many no-hitters have the Pittsburgh Pirates threw in franchise history? Now, it's no trick question. It's no when they were the Alleghenies. It's no when they were this. It's no straight out. How many no-hitters since 1887 has this franchise threw? Take a moment to think that over. If you want options, I could do that. If you don't, that's cool too. Guys, we are live. We're live 5 days a week right here, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., Monday through Friday. And the brand new show that we do live every day, we upload over on Spotify in podcast form at 8 o'clock in the evening. So if you missed the show, maybe you just rather listen to the show. You only have the chance to listen to the show. You could always go over to Spotify to hear the brand new show every day. Check it out. All right, Mike. Question of the day is this. Since 1887, How many no-hitters have the Bucks thrown in their franchise's history? Ron on the board says, look at all the pitchers that the Bucks has farmed out to other teams that are killing it. Brian says one on acid, Doc Ellis.
Yep.
We know that one. You can count
Know
that
that
one.
one. We got the combined no hitter.
Francisco Cordova and Ricardo Rincon.
Yep, I remember that game.
Brian says lock him
Lock
out
me
one.
in.
Brian, you're locked in.
How many complete games?
How many no hitters have the
No-hitters.
Bucks thrown in franchise history?
Let's go with 5.
5. Is that your final answer?
Sure, why not?
All right. So Brian has 1. Mike has 5. Locking Mike in. Just another moment, just in case anybody else wants to answer on the board.
Ron
maybe
saying
said 6. Ooh. Pirates, one of the oldest franchises, guys. The question of the day: how many no hitters have the Bucks thrown in franchise history? They've been around since 1887. They've won 5 World Series. They've been to a few more. Brian says 1. Doc Ellis on acid. Mike says, what'd you say, Mike? 3? 5. And Ron says 6. Guys, the correct answer to this is since 1887, the Pittsburgh Pirates franchise has been on the winning side of 6 no-hitters. 6 no-hitters thrown by the Pittsburgh Pirates. Yeah.
Ron got that one right.
Nailed it. He said it'll probably like 11. I mean, that's like, prior to 1993, it was a very, very proud franchise. A lot of people forget that. They take the last 30 years and they say, you know what, this is just the worst team ever. However, they're actually probably one of the better teams ever. I mean, you got to obviously throw out the Yankees because they don't, you can't count them with everybody else. They got 26. Was it 26 championships? Come on.
26, 27, yeah.
But you take somebody like them out, they are one of the best franchises ever. So
we have a rich history.
Absolutely, man.
Except for, this 23-year, 24-year window.
I thought that the 2013 season and 13, 14, and 15, I thought they were really going to change our fortune, man, and turn things around. But it seems like we're back where we started.
Yeah, you saw like once, Nutting refused to add in the offseason on those teams and build on that momentum.
Right.
You can see that it was going to crash and burn. And then we finally go and do make a move. We get Chris Archer, who just completely shat the bed. And he was all really productive, comes here and just boom, done. And that was the end of them making any substantial moves.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what that trend is, Mike. But you look at the guys who do that and then they leave here and they go and they're pitching in the World Series the following fall.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, I don't know. Maybe it's the dirt we use on our mound. Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? But I did see Mike Ohtani hit 2 home runs yesterday.
Yeah.
Jeez, oh man.
Yeah. He's rounded into form.
Yeah, I can't wait to play the Dodgers, man.
Oh, I can't wait.
I mean, I bet you when he comes here, a lot of people will go up.
Yeah, and that'll be the game where he doesn't produce at all.
Right.
It would be like, oh, this guy sucks. Then immediately he leaves and just starts crushing the ball again. But no.
Mike, anything for us going to start getting ready to take off?
I had a couple things here up on Twitter and then I lost them all because it just fucking refreshes randomly. So there is, that you keep hearing about the rumor about DK Metcalf coming here. Well, they're up against the salary cap, and we got the cap space, and if he moves, that's going to free up space for them. So that rumor is still being kicked around by people who watch the salary cap situations of all the teams. So
he's not my ideal guy. You and I were talking the other day off the air.
Yeah.
But you know what? I would take him. Don't get me wrong.
Take him.
If it came down to, you know what, guys, you're going to either go with what you have or you could have DK Metcalf. I would take DK Metcalf in a heartbeat. I mean, you always want to improve. You always want your team to be better,
Because I would like that, him and George on the outside. You have Roman Wilson, Van Jefferson, Johnson, whatever his name is, in the middle with Freiermuth, the 2 good running backs. I would like that offense.
I'd like to see Calvin Austin.
Be a vertical offense.
I'd like to see Calvin Austin have a breakthrough this season, Mike.
Yeah.
Calvin Austin and Corey Trice, they're going to be the 2 guys that I'm watching. Hopefully they could both be, can grow their production moving forward. I think that they could both be big help if they
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Ron's first Pirate game at Parker, Stargell, and Kitcakovey.
You know what? When they opened up PNC Park, I went to the very first game. Willie Stargell died that morning.
Yeah.
I was up at I was up I was drinking in the parking lot, and someone was like, Lee Stargell just died. I'm like, shut the fuck up. He died that morning. So uh, I do want to say thank you, everybody, for checking us out. Thank you, everybody, for coming to hang with us. We appreciate each and every one of you. We wouldn't do it without you. We want to thank everybody on the board. As always, you guys always keep things interesting. Um, Derpy, I don't know what happened to Derpy today. I don't know. I know he was sick. He had scabies or whatever it was last week, but
Hey, we got a 95 on our athletic score from Brian today.
and Derpy brings down our athletic
He
score.
does.
So
He does bring it down. He doesn't look like he'd be very athletic. I can still move for a big guy.
My thing today is this, guys. If you find it, take the time on Netflix, The Roast of Tom Brady. I haven't watched it, but I will, because everything that I see is hilarious. And you know what? Seeing people just get a chance to take shots at Tom Brady, I think will be worth it in itself. I haven't seen anything that said anything, showed any signs it wouldn't be interesting for some, Steeler fans especially. Don't like the guy, but I certainly will check out The Roast of Tom Brady. It's on Netflix, so you get a chance to check that out. Mike, anything else, man, before we take off?
Real quick, piggyback off of that, Nikki Glazer. Oh my God, she just absolutely destroyed Tom Brady in that roast. She is a gem.
I'm hearing a bunch of good things. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see.
Derpy's at Kennywood. It was half price Tuesday.
He's not taller than that damn Kennywood, though. He can't get on the rides.
Damn fucking kangaroo.
He's in there playing skee ball with his grandma. You know the kids. All right. So that's it for you, Mike.
That's all I got.
All right. I do want to say thank you one more time, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time to do it all over again. For Mike in the Steeler Central Mobile Studio, myself, the two Dum Yinzers. Everybody have a great Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.